Welcome to a special end of the year edition of The Morning After. We'll be taking a look at some of the biggest tech stories from the year, as well as a couple of extra snippets where, I'll be honest, I just have to say my piece. And if not here, where? X? Threads? So, like our old lightning cables, let's all bid farewell to 2023. OpenAI began work on GPT, that's its generative pre-trained transformer, back in 2016. But it was the release of GPT 3.5 and ChatGPT that turned chatbots into the tech topic of 2023. ChatGPT, and I know you already know this, was capable of understanding and responding to natural language input. And this was what every other tech company wanted this year. In January 2023, ChatGPT managed to reach 100 million monthly active users, and it did so faster than the likes of TikTok or Instagram, although it was beaten and bested by Meta's Threads later in 2023. In the same month, it passed law exams and got $10 billion from its regular investor, Microsoft. More on that duo later. It also got monetized. Yes, it offered a ChatGPT Pro option, which offered more customization and worked faster, all for an itty-bitty tiny monthly fee. By March, those 100 million monthly active users were now 100 million daily users, and OpenAI's continued collaboration with Microsoft led to the impossible. It resurrected Bing. Yeah, Bing AI made me want to use Bing. That was not a prediction anyone had written down for 2023. Meanwhile, elsewhere, there was another B word on the horizon. Yes, Google's Bard. Yes, Google announced Bard, its take on the chatbot phenomenon, presumably out of fears that chatbots were the next frontier in the internet, or possibly how Google expects to make even more money in the future. Bard itself has picked up a load of upgrades over the years as well. It's expanded into 120 countries. It can now handle 40 languages. It also has added personalized generative AI answers to Google Assistant, which is probably how you're interfacing with Google Bard the most at the moment. It can even parse and comprehend YouTube videos, so you don't even have to watch this. Please, continue watching this. Even Apple, a company notoriously cautious with new technologies it didn't create itself, is reportedly working with news publishers to train its own generative AI. It's apparently even working on its own chatbot called Ajax, or maybe Ajax. Yeah, that was a soccer reference. From me. This is also a year of renewed VR hardware. Yes, we got PSVR 2, we got the Meta Quest 3, and Apple revealed, if didn't quite launch, the Vision Pro. At the same time, PC VR headsets came down in prices, making them more affordable than ever. But this wasn't a year where VR exploded. The PSVR 2 was aimed at existing PlayStation 5 owners and offered an experience and graphical fidelity way beyond its predecessor. However, beyond the likes of Horizon, Resident Evil, and Gran Turismo, kind of reimagined in VR, where are all the games? Meta didn't shake things up much either, adding some mixed reality tricks to ensure that the Quest 3 was different enough from the Quest 2. Also, it pushed the metaverse really hard. Again, to not much effect. But for those willing to dip their toes into the metaverse, at least this year, they got the legs to do it. And then there's Apple. It's finally getting into VR, MR, XR, whatever you want to call it. Apple has announced a headset, and it's called the Vision Pro. According to our hands-on at this year's WWDC, and no, it wasn't my hands-on, I haven't even touched one, and I'm the person that bought one of those terrible new official iPhone cases, and yet nothing. Anyway, according to our hands-on, it's designed to be light, comfortable, and work without any controllers whatsoever. Yes, you can navigate and use the Vision Pro through eye tracking and finger movement detection. If that all sounds very Minority Report, that's because it is very Minority Report. However, it still isn't out just yet, with a launch expected for early 2024. Yes, 21 months later, after multiple legal battles with multiple regulators, Microsoft officially has acquired Activision Blizzard, And this is huge, not just in game industry terms, just in sheer cash money terms. Microsoft paid $68.7 billion for Activision Blizzard. And if you're not a gamer, good for you, but Activision Blizzard is the publisher behind major games that you've probably heard of, including Call of Duty, Overwatch, and even that favorite of mum and dad smartphones everywhere, Candy Crush.
So delicious.
And to put it in context, that's almost triple the amount that Microsoft paid for its second biggest acquisition, the similarly fun and entertaining LinkedIn. Compromises had to be made though. Microsoft agreed to sell the cloud gaming rights for Activision Blizzard games to Ubisoft. It also signed 10-year agreements with Nintendo and several cloud gaming companies to ensure that those titles from Activision Blizzard made it onto those platforms as well. 2023 was also the year I got closer to my own personal tech dream. Yes, a unified single cable. Yes, Apple finally ditched the Lightning connector on its smartphones when it revealed the iPhone 15 series. However, the USB-C part really only ascribes the connector itself, and other standards dictate the likes of data transfer speeds, how much power it can push through, and the rest. In short, yeah, one problem solved, another problem introduced. Yeah, we've got to finish on a space story. In 2023, with multiple companies and multinational corporations angling to get back to the moon, it's getting busy out there and it's getting complicated. There are all these different teams coordinating among themselves with various different time zones, and apparently it's a total mess. Fortunately, in March 2023, the European Space Agency announced an international collaboration to, well, figure all that out. Questions that we're expecting an answer on in 2024 include whether there should be a single organization dedicated to the lunar time zone, which sounds incredible, and whether to keep lunar time separate and not synchronized to Earth time. Yes, apparently clocks on the moon run faster. It has something to do with satellites, apparently. I don't get it either, but that sounds like a crucial problem that they should probably work out. And that was your end of year morning after. Thanks once again for watching. We'll be back in a couple of weeks for a special CES edition of the morning after. Have a great new year, and I'll see you, well, you'll see me in 2024.